great vibration that you all have created in this room. And to this vibration, friends, I'm going to add a very powerful thought. You can only handle a situation which is. Friends, my name is Payal Nanjiani, and I am the founder of Insightful Learning. I coach, guide, and I mentor corporate executives, business leaders, high school students, and people in general on their journey to success with a very powerful process that we have created called Success is Within, which means you are least dependent on the outside resources for success. Today's topic, befriending fear to achieve success, is just a small part of those 7 steps that we created. And we're just going to talk about one technique. I'm going to leave here with just one technique, a divine law that you can all take out with you. But to get to that technique, there are around 4 or 5 skills that you all need to walk with me. Whenever and wherever I have spoken about fear, I've had corporate executives tell me, Payal, can you please make my team fearless because they are not able to go out there in the market and sell the product and not able to meet up with the competitors. I have had business leaders tell me, I would like you to coach me and guide me on how to be fearless because I'm not able to put my market up. I am not able to get my business up only because I have fear. Fear of speaking, fear of approaching the market. I'm not able to go out there. And very off late, I even had a student who came to me and said, I have got admission in a great college, NC State University, but hasn't been able to come out of the fears and wants to be fearless. Friends, this activity brings home the point that there is no one who has no fears. Each of us in this room, such a big group, and everyone has some fear, whether it is 1, 2, underlying one, or the root one. There is a fear in each of us. And still, we hear people telling us, you need to be fearless. You just can't be fearless. You can definitely fear less. There's a very big difference. Fear is a very basic emotion given to us by Him. It is not just us. Every animal also has fears. It's a very basic emotion given to us, and we just need to know the reason of it. Once you know the reason of your fear, once you know exactly how to handle it, how to befriend it, it's not going to master you. It's only going to follow you like a faithful servant. It's going to guide you. You know, if there was an award given for fear, I should be the one receiving it. Truly. I was fearful of every single thing that I could think of. I had fear of heights. I had fear of flying, always feeling that the plane would crash. I would have fear of driving because of accidents. I had fear of death, fear of health, my past, my present, my future. I had fear of loneliness. And the biggest of all, I had fear of my career. I had fear of speaking. I had so much fear that I had constantly gone into a depressed emoji mode at all times. I always had anxiety. I always had worry. There was no way you could see cheerfulness on my face. Always wondering what next, what will happen in my career, what's going to happen if I don't do good. And I kept battling with it, and it incredibly made me suffer because I was always fighting with it. Until one day when I was helping my older daughter. She was in the IB school at that point of time in the 5th grade. And I was helping her to make one of her projects when I came across a video that she had to make. I'm going to share that video with you and then we'll talk. Okay? So it's not that I saw this video and immediately things struck me and I was like, oh great, I should start my journey to start becoming to fear less. No. At that point of time when I made this video for her and I was helping her in her presentation, this video had only hit me here. It had not struck me in my heart yet. And nothing happens until then. So what I did was, I took baby steps. Because fear, if you try to get it out with a leap, it's not going to happen. It has to be taken with baby steps. So I made baby steps, and what I did was, I started doing more research on such videos. I started going back and seeing Paralympics. I started going back and seeing what is it that they can do and I'm not able to do. How come with so much challenges, they are achieving so much? And here I am, who I know I have a passion to speak, I have a passion to train. I want to do something, but I'm not able to. So slowly as the things developed, I started to change. And one thing that I brought myself to understand which today I tell all the students and I tell all my clients, that a person is never ever disabled by the body. A person is always disabled in the mind. Friends, challenges are never ever in the body. Challenges are always up here in the mind. And when I was able to cross those small steps is when Insightful Learning started. Insightful Learning started 2 years back, and it's thankfully today gone globally. And this, friends, I'm telling you not to impress you, but to impress upon you that if you have a thought, if you have something that is you want to achieve, it's in your mind. There is only fear that is stopping it. There's only one thing I can tell you, and I would like all of you to say it with me loud and clear. It's possible. It's possible. More, friends, right from the heart. It's possible. So slowly I started developing those techniques, and I told you there are 4 or 5 steps that take you to that one divine law, which helps you to overcome any fear that you have. Any. It doesn't matter after you go out of this room what's your fear like. Tell me, how many of you love to watch horror movies or have watched horror movies ever? Okay, so those of you who have watched, you will be able to relate to this real life incidents. I'm not a fan of horror movies. So it's about a client of mine who I was coaching on marketing, on how to bring up her business in the market. And while she was doing that, she always had the fear of approaching people. So the day I was supposed to meet her, she was looking extremely tired, and I asked her, I said, what happened? Is everything okay? She said, yeah, everything is okay. I said, your husband's traveling, everything good with the children? She said, yes. I said, you were supposed to go and watch some movie. How was it? Oh, she's saying it was great. It was an exciting movie. It was some horror movie that she had watched. And she said, I really enjoyed it. It was fun. She said, I came back home, put the children to bed. She said, I don't know why, but I started feeling as if I'm feeling some paranormal activities happening around, and I was really scared. I said, okay. I said, so what was it like? She said, no, I don't know. She said, I just tucked myself in bed. I wanted to go and drink water, but I told myself, forget about it. She said, I switched on a side lamp, and I decided I'll just sleep tight. And I'm sure all those who have watched horror movies have felt somebody is behind. And I said, oh, great. I said, so you had double fun, huh? She said, double fun? I said, yeah, double fun. One movie, one here. She said, who has fun when they are scared? I said, come on. She said, I was completely fearful, Payal. I said, that's what I'm saying. You had double fun. She said, who has fun in fear? I said, you. Me. Everyone around. Otherwise, why would we go and spend money and watch movies? Why would we watch horror movies? Why would we go on those rides that throw us from one end to another end and make our hearts beat so fast? But still, after we come out, what do we say to the people around us? You must go on that ride. It was excellent. Oh my God, I felt as if this is just the end. But still, you must go. Experience it. You must experience it. The very basic thing, the first technique, fear is formed. And who is the person forming it? We. So anyways, then I told her, I said, then basically who was it? Did you go and look? She said, seriously, Payal? I said, yeah, seriously. I said, come on, tell me, even if you would have got up and you would have gone down to see what's happening around, that whatever you're thinking that goes to something, you would have gone and seen, you would still be at an advantage. I said, you would do something, right? When you see something, you will do something about it. And she said, she was just amazed. I said, this is exactly what you're doing in your marketing, in your business. You are forming the fear in your minds. If I go out to my client, I don't know what they will think about me. I don't know whether they will reject me or accept me. I don't know whether they will like the product, the service. I said, it's all creation. Go out there. For once, friends, just look at your fears. Just look back and see who it is. Because the more you keep thinking there are ghosts, the more one day you will only see it. Nobody else around you will see it. We all form fears, and at this stage, it's the weakest. It's the weakest at this stage, and we make it strong. Any guesses how we make our fears strong? We make it strong by our thoughts. And this, instead of speaking to you, I'm going to let all of you experience it. Okay? Volunteer to come out here. One volunteer. Who can come here? You can only handle a situation which is fear is something that we form. We create it, and it's 101% in our mind, which means that we are living in our minds. We are absolutely not living with our life. Fear is everything that has to do with future. Nothing, absolutely nothing in the now. Fear is always in the future, which means fear is 102% imaginary. You start to create it, you start to form it, and what you do is, it's like the books that she was holding. The more you try to pile it on, the more she said, I can't hold it anymore. It will drop, you will drop. It will be seen in your tiredness, it will be seen in your in your mentality. You will not be able to think correctly because you will be drained out, you will be burnt out, you're holding it. Any negative thoughts, any fear, the more you hold it, the more she felt it's going to fall. And if I would have not told her to tell me when it's going to fall, she would have kept going and it would have fallen. That's exactly what everybody's fear is. Whether you have fear of sharks, death, presentation, anything. It's all about, what if my presentation goes wrong? What if I come out here and I forget what I have to say? What if people are going to think about me something? What if I don't do properly? Are you speaking to impress or are you speaking to express? Presentations are always to express. It's never to impress. It's about what you want to tell the people. What do you want to tell them? What's your topic? The thoughts that you have can be channelized. You can never control your thought. I don't have time right now to talk about thoughts, but I'm going to give you one technique, which if you want, you can take a picture, you can keep it with you. It has helped a lot of people. It's all about taking care of your thoughts. Okay? Take a look at it. Whatever is your fear, you are creating it. You're going to send it out in the universe. It's going to come back to you. So always take care of your thoughts. Never control your thoughts. You will never be able to. Never ever control your thoughts. Always channelize them this way. And once you do this, there's another easy way of doing it. This brings you to your third skill in fear. It is called interrogating yourself. How many of you truly talk to yourself? No, I know, like it sounds, okay, am I mad? I'm going to talk to myself. But how many of you truly talk to yourself? Anyone? I do it. So Rizal does it. Start doing this if you're not friends. I can't really emphasize the importance of this. I can only give you a real life situation that happened with me. So this was my very first huge assignment of speaking in a corporate, a very big corporate, and this was just before I was almost setting up Insightful Learning. And a huge project had come my way that I could talk in a corporate. And I still remember the topic was law of attraction. And I was wondering what I'm going to do. I prepared everything. I was very happy until I reached there and I saw that with me there were 4 more speakers. And those speakers had a long standing. They had good credentials. They had spoken so many places. Everybody knew them. It was a cakewalk for them. And for me, it was the very first assignment of speaking in a huge corporate on a stage. And I wanted to do it because that would bring Insightful Learning up globally. So as I was preparing, that, okay, this is exactly how I'm going to do it, my mind started to talk to me. I did not talk to my mind. My first thing my mind told me is, Payal, you can't do this. You can't do this, Payal. You don't have any credentials. You don't have a standing that you can talk in corporate. This is your very first assignment. Look at the crowd. There are thousands of them. How are you even going to do this? They are all well known and you are not. And the only thing I spent my time then on was to talk to myself. In the time where those 4 speakers went on the stage and I was the last speaker, the only thing I did is I did not rehearse what I have to say. I did not plan what I have to say. I only talked to myself, because if I did not, my mind would chatter so much that when I would be on stage, I would have messed up entirely. And the only thing I reminded myself is, what have I got to lose? As it is, I'm setting up Insightful Learning at that time, so what have I got to lose? Maximum to maximum, what's going to happen? They won't like the presentation. They won't call me again. Is that the end of the world for me? No, I have 10 other corporates. I'll try my best. So the more I asked myself, the more I got my answers. And I would like you all to do a rapid fire round, okay, with your fears. I'm taking the fear of speaking as a general one. Either you do it on a paper pencil or do it in your mind. But do it honestly, because that's the only way you can befriend fear, okay, just by talking to yourself. Facts. What motivates you to kill your fear? What motivates you to deal with your fear? Like I said, you cannot be fearless, but you can fear less. The more you know about yourself and the more you know what you want, the less likely you will let fear upset you. And that means you start taking yourself to the next level, the next skill, which is high esteem. I'll tell you a very true story about two friends, 7-year-old and 10-year-old. Both very good friends, would go to school together, enjoy life, would do homework, would have fun, play games. They were in a very small town. And their parents had always told them that make sure you do not cross a certain boundary because there is a huge well there. And they were just afraid, the children were small. So while one day they were playing, both the children were running behind a kite and they were trying to catch the kite. And accidentally one of the student tripped and fell into the well. One of the friends tripped and fell into the well, the 10-year-old one. Now the other friend, who was 7-year-old, he was really scared. Absolutely there was no one that he could call for help. He looked around, he shouted, he called for help, but till far there was no one who could help him. He didn't know what to do. Friend is drowning, one of the best friends. So what he did is, he saw that there is a bucket and he took the bucket, it was tied with a rope, and he threw it in the well. And he told his friend, you catch that and I'll pull you. Now that bucket was full of water plus the weight of the child, of his friend. And he pulled, he kept on pulling. No result. His friend says, just give up. And he said, no, just wait, we'll do it. And kept pulling. Finally, after a long time, the friend was out. They hugged each other, dried themselves, and they were very happy. And they decided, okay, now let's walk back home. But they were afraid of what the parents and everyone will tell them because they had told them not to go there. But another thought that came to their mind was that, you know what? They're going to be very proud of you. The 10-year-old said to the 7-year-old, they'll be very proud of you. Look what you did. You saved me. And they were happy. So they went back. And when they went back and they told all the people of that small town what had happened, no one believed them. And they felt sad. And the one who really saved the friend felt very down. He felt demotivated. He said, I did so much. I thought everyone is going to praise me. They're going to be happy. And they're not even trusting me. So, they kept on saying it. They said, no, that's not possible. So they said, okay, the town people said, let's go to this one person in the town. He is very learned. He never tells a lie. He's very truthful. He has a lot of wisdom. Let's go to him. So they said, okay. All of them went to him. They said, look, this is what happened. Tell us how it happened. So the learned man said, they're telling you. He's saying that they were following the kite. The 10-year-old one tripped, fell into the well. The 7-year-old one pulled. And now they're out here. They're telling you. What are you asking me? How they did it? They said, no, it's not possible. Absolutely not possible. You hear the story again and tell us how is it possible. He said, they are telling you. And then he said, after some silence, he said, you know what? You're asking me the wrong question. You're asking me how they are doing it. The actual question should be, why did they do it? Why did they do it? Why did he do it? Why did he pull out his friend? How is it possible? That's not the question. The question is why. And the reason is, at that point of time, there was no one to help him. There was no one to tell him that he could not do it, friends. Not even he himself. No one was there to tell him, look, you're just a 7-year-old one. You can't do this. How many of us come in our own way? I won't get into a college if I don't get a GPA score of 4. My scholarships won't be given to me if I do not get a particular grade. Everyone is telling me that I can't go from a C to an A in math. And we keep dissecting these messages that we get from friends, from families, from everyone around us. And you know what we do? There's a message here that we get from outside and we keep building on it. And there is a message here that we tell ourselves, of course I can do it. And immediately you try it out. Immediately you will tell yourself, no, I can't. They are right. I'm not that popular. They are right. I can make good friends. They are right. My scores can never go up. It will never go from a C to A. Oh my God. And every time you do that, your scores won't go up from C to B also. Because this wall that was created by your friends, your families, by your peers was so weak. This wall that you created it, you made it so strong. And you made it strong only from here. Because you believed. You believed what you are saying. They just said it. They wanted to say something to you. You're not good at it. They said it. Now what? You built it up from here. Always hold yourself up in high esteem if you want to befriend fear. And the best way to do it is fake it till you can make it. Honestly. Just fake it till you can make it, but keep yourself up in high esteem. And that will get you to your last skill. Action. The only one which is in your control completely. You have complete control over the actions. Your actions are divided into response and reaction. If you feel like reacting to your fear, well, it's thoughtless and it's threatening. If you feel like responding to your fear, it is thoughtful and it is non-threatening. The choice is yours. There's a very powerful fact of the birth of a baby giraffe. Not sure how many of you know about it, but this is exactly what helps here. You know, when the baby giraffe is born, it's as it is an earth-shaking event because of the height from which it falls. But as soon as it is born, the mother giraffe hugs and cuddles the baby giraffe, and within a fraction of a second gives it a huge kick. A big kick, and it is on one side. And as soon as the baby giraffe realizes what's happening, the mother giraffe walks to it and one more kick. Now the baby giraffe is feeling something is wrong. I'm just born, what's going on? And by the time, one more kick. Now by the time the mother goes to give the giraffe one more kick, the baby giraffe stands up on its wobbly legs and starts to run. And it runs fast, and the mother giraffe is running behind the baby giraffe. This time, cuddling it, hugging it with no kicks. Bringing home a very powerful fact that the mother giraffe knows that when the baby giraffe is born, all the wild animals in the jungle will come to hunt for its soft flesh. They love it. And the mother giraffe is not going to be there with the baby giraffe at all times to protect it. So it wants the baby to start running. It wants to take the action. The mother could have decided to react to the fear that, okay, I'll do everything to protect my child, or the mother could respond and say, I will get my child up. How many of us in this room, friends, you remember when you were born, immediately when you were born, your mother gave you that kick? Anyone? But life is definitely going to give that kick. And how have you decided? What have you decided to do? How will you spring back to life's setbacks? It's all up to you. The action I had taken was, I had started collecting, you see movies like Finding Nemo, you see movies like Lion King, you see so many motivational movies also. I started making a library of motivational movies. I started making a library of quotes, thoughts, which help you every time. Remember, friends, when you try to reach for the moons and you are not able to come down with anything, it's still going to hurt you. And at that point of time, none of these motivational sessions are going to come to your mind. None of the motivational quotes are going to come to your mind if you haven't collected and practiced them. So always have a collection of all what can keep you going to life setbacks. That's the only way you will deal with fear. So now if I put everything together, if I put all these skills together, tell me, what do you get? And one divine law, the one technique that can help you to come out with any fear is what? Faith. Faith in yourself, faith in the universe, faith in people around you. And 90% of us over here will tell me, and I have had many people who tell me, Payal, I already have faith. If you have faith, then where did the doubt come from? Faith and doubt can never live together. What we have done is we have some energy here in the past and we have some energy here in the future. And we need to just pull them and bring them to our now. That's the only thing that it takes to have faith. There was a small town where there was a huge drought. And everyone was feeling that now it's going to be, if they do not get the rains, they're going to die of hunger. So they decided that all of us will meet at a place and we are going to meet for prayers. And they were very sure that their prayers will be answered and God will give the rains. So everyone decided to meet at a particular day and a place, and they all came. There was only one boy who came that day with the umbrella. That, my friends, is faith. You can either live your dreams or you can live your fear. It's all up to you. So friends, thank you so much. This is Payal Nanjiani. I thank you for being a great audience. Thank you so much.